All right, we're starting chapter 4, Devil Men. Santa Claus glanced back over his shoulder. The two boys on their BMX bicycles were still tailing him. Santa had found a string of power lines late in the morning, had been following the trail west. That had taken him past a double-wide mobile home. The two boys had been out jumping on a trampoline when he'd marched by. They'd stared at him until he was out of sight. Now, a couple miles later, here they were, peeking around the thicket, watching his every move. They will need a little discouragement. Would not do to have children watch dear old Santa hack Krampus and his ambitions to death after all. A distant screech came to Santa's ear, a most welcome sound. He searched the sky, found only heavy clouds. He plucked the horn from his belt and gave it one short blast. A second later, he was rewarded with another cry and the sight of two dark shapes flying down out of the clouds towards him. They alighted upon the twisted branch of a fallen oak, the two great ravens, Hugin and Moonin. I'm going to go with Hugin and Moonin. The magnificent birds were as large as any eagle, their black feathers sleek and shining. They peered at Santa with curious, ageless eyes. You remember Krampus? Yes, I know you do. It seems he did not die in darkness as he should have. Somehow he has crawled out from beneath his rock to make mischief, and mischief he has made. Now my Christmas sack is lost. It is somewhere out there amongst the near town. The two great birds cocked their heads, questioning. Search for his beasts, his abominations. I missed that earlier too. Search for his beasts, his abominations, the bell snickles, for they will be on the hunt as well. When you find them, stay with them like a dark omen. Lead me to them with your cry, for my sword thirsts for their blood. The ravens squawked and nodded as any person might. Go, my pets, make haste, find them and show me the way. The great ravens leapt into the air, the wake of their great wings kicking up frozen leaves as they flew away down the hill. Santa heard a clink, turned, found that the boys had dared venture closer, much closer than was wise. Sitting on their bikes and staring at him, Santa walked up to them. The younger boy looked about to flee. He glanced anxiously over at the older boy. The older boy, a teenager, maybe 13 or 14, looked unsure as well, but held his ground. What you wearing that get-up for? The teenager asked. Yeah, the younger boy chimed in. Why you dressed up like Santa Claus for? Because I am Santa Claus, the older boy snorted. My ass you are. The younger boy followed suit with a snort of his own. Santa remembered why he hated teenagers. They worked so hard not to believe in anything, did their very best to spoil the magic for everyone else. Go home, the teenager blinked. Hey, this here's a free country. You can't go telling people what to do. Is that a new bike? Sure is, the kid said with obvious pride. Got it for Christmas. Fucking rad. Would you please get off it? What? Huh? What for? So you will not be upon it when I toss it down the hillside. Santa nodded to the steep incline on the right side of the trail that bottomed into a ravine of broken rocks. Are you threatening me, mister? Santa grabbed the teenager's bike by the handlebars, kicked his boot through the front spokes, and stomped downward, snapping off most of the spokes. The front rim collapsed. Hey, the kid screamed. Hey, you can't do that. He stood up, and when he did, Santa snatched the bicycle out from under him. He lifted the bike over his head and chucked it down a hill. The bike tumbled, spun, bounced into the air, and crashed into the rocks below. The two boys stood, mouths agape, staring down at the bike. I believe it would be a bad idea for the two of you to follow me any further. What do you think? Santa didn't wait for an answer. He had urgent business at hand. He turned and headed quickly down the trail.